Welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two Formula One nerds. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your I Was Made for Loving You host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1979 season, part 6. So let's go.
Oh, I love this song. I'm not going to sing it, but I do like this song. I'm going to guess.
I didn't think you had
Is
to
it
guess.
Kiss? Is it
Yes,
Kiss?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
yes.
I wasn't even going to ask you. I assumed you knew.
Yeah. Look, I'm notoriously bad at naming bands and artists. I'm very bad at that. So it is quite a feat for me to get them right.
Yeah, even ones as obvious as this one.
Even obvious ones, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, well, obviously that song was released in 79. I thought it was a 1980 song, but obviously.
Yes, me too. I thought Kiss was very much 80s, but I guess 79.
Yeah.
You know,
They
very
got their
close.
Profile. So we're up to race 10 of 15. We're at the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. It's July 29, 45 laps, and the weather is very hot.
For the third year in a row, we're at Hockenheim for the GP, for the German GP. Nürburgring's just not safe enough, is it?
I think Nürburgring is gone and never to come back.
Doesn't it come back though a little bit, Louis? Does it come back? I don't think it does at all.
Maybe a cutback version. I don't recall though, to be honest.
I reckon maybe it takes on the European Grand Prix mantle for a while. I don't know. I remember Nürburgring races, watching them.
Did you?
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, we'll check that during the break.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up now. You can keep going.
All right. So the field was exactly the same as the British GP, except that Tyrrell's number one driver, Jean-Pierre Jarier, had been admitted to hospital with a serious liver complaint. So young English driver Jeffrey Lees was going to have a one-off drive for Tyrrell. So that's exciting for. I don't know who Jeffrey Lees is. I don't think he makes a big impression.
No.
But anyway, he's getting a one-off drive. So good on him.
Good on him. And I can now give you the answer. The answer is not what I expected, but it was partly what I was saying, I guess. The last race held at Nürburgring was the 2020 Eiffel Grand Prix. Remember, 2020 was the COVID impacted year.
Yeah, okay.
Hamilton won that race, but the thing is, the previous race was at the 2013 German Grand Prix called Nürburgring GP Strecke, which might be an adaptation of the track. But the last time the race was held at the Nordschleife, which is the Nürburgring I think you're thinking of, was the 76 race.
Oh, wow.
It was the race that Lauda had his accident in. That was the last time that track was used. So every other version of it after that was an adaptation of or something.
Wow. So I must be remembering the 2013 maybe.
Maybe, or even some other variations of it.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah. There you go. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So back here to Hockenheim. The untimed sessions were dominated by Jabouillet in the Renault, lapping 1 second faster than Andretti's pole time of last year. This was mainly due to that twin turbo and larger wings they were running at this race.
Yeah, and they were sacrificing they're sacrificing straight line speed for better handling and speed on the corners, and I guess it was working.
At the first time session, Jabouillet went round 2 seconds faster than his previous time in the first 15 minutes of the session, then returned to the pits to watch the others, satisfied that no one could beat his time.
That old nugget, hey?
Yeah.
It's happened a few times in history. I know Stewart has done it and Jim Clark has done it, and Lauda at least 2 times.
Yeah.
And I think Andretti's done it too. So it's, Jabouillet is trying to get into that category.
Yes, yes, it's a list of champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is a list of champions. They're all champions. Stewart,
Yeah.
Clark, Lauder and Andretti. Wow.
And Javier. Now Javier.
Yeah, well, he's ruined it now.
Yeah.
Jones was running second fastest and was the only driver to join Javier under the 1 minute 50 second mark, even though he had lost, he had lots of car issues during the session.
Yeah, so we have Ligier was Lafitte was third in the Ligier, then Piquet fourth, Scheckter fifth, and Regazzoni sixth.
Villeneuve ninth after his engine blew up in the second session, and Arnoux in the other Renault, way behind his teammate in 10th, but he had issues with a leak in his turbocharger.
Okay, so the race day was fine and hot after overnight rain as the drivers lined up on the grid, and all attention was on Jones and Javier on the front row, with the general feeling in the paddock that if Javier led into the first corner, the race would be over pretty much.
That's a big call, though, but I think that's what I think they're calling out there is the speed and the handling of that Renault twin turbo Renault.
Yeah. And look, we're at race 10 here, and we've got Jones and Javier on the front row, and everyone's expecting them to dominate. You have to go back to the beginning of the year. It was dominated by Ligier, Ferrari, and Lotus played a little bit, but they're gone. They're gone now. Yeah.
And I was just about to say, I think this is very much the second half of the season. You know how I said it was like a season of two halves? We definitely clicked over. This is race 10, where I feel race 10 was like the second half of the season. So interesting,
And Regazzoni won that race a couple of races ago. And the two races prior to that, Jones was knocking on the door to win them anyway.
Yes. Anyway. So Jones also heard this big call about the Renault. So this actually propelled him to make an amazing start. And although for a split second it looked like Javier would still take the lead, Jones started inching ahead and on reaching the first corner was in front when Lafitte screamed down the inside to demote Javier's twin-turbo-charged Renault to third place. So that Renault's still not starting great, is it?
No, it's not. It's
even with the twin turbos.
Yeah. So these are amazing starts we're seeing this season, maybe because the other cars don't have the turbo lag. And Jones and Villeneuve is another one that's made great starts. Jones and Villeneuve are very aggressive, and others like Scheckter and Javier are just a little bit more measured, it seems. Yeah.
It's funny that we're saying that about Scheckter, Louis, because he exploded on the scene as an erratic, crash bone, like wild man.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of his peers in danger, or that was the thought at the time. But now we're calling him, settled and cooled under pressure.
Yeah. But he's also been involved in a lot of dings at the beginning of races earlier this season.
Yes.
So we know we talked about him at that famous British Grand Prix where there were demands that he should be banned from the sport. And even remember they blackmailed, that some of the main drivers blackmailed the organisers to ban him for a race.
Yes.
And those drivers are in this race, like Lauder and all that. So,
I know.
Yeah. But that was a racing incident. I never blamed Scheckter.
I know. We never blamed him. No. Yeah. So now he's the steady one and Villeneuve's the erratic one. So he's grown up. He's matured. I think that's what happens as a racing car driver.
Yeah, and as people too.
Yes.
So now we have Jones in first, Lafitte's in second, Javier third, Piquet fourth, and Scheckter fifth. But this is only the first lap, of course.
Yeah, on the second lap, Javier overtook Lafitte and along with Jones started pulling away from the rest of the field.
So over the next three laps, Piquet, who was in fourth, was passed by Scheckter, Regazzoni, Lauder, Andretti, Villeneuve, and Arnoux to run a lowly 10th. That's
what the heck happened there?
Fourth from Grace. Yeah, what happened?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Javier was close in behind Jones and it looked like the lead would change at any moment. But as the two cars arrived at the shark curve, Javier left his braking a fraction late, locked up his wheels and went sliding backwards off the track into retirement as his engine stalled and it couldn't be restarted. That's big. Yeah,
big mistake.
That's big mistake.
Yeah, and now Jones could relax a little with Laffite far enough behind him not to be a concern.
On lap 14, Regazzoni, who had gotten past Schechter's Ferrari and was now closing in on Laffite, he got past a little too easily, and Laffite quickly realised his tyres were not going to hold up, trying to chase down the Williams.
So Laffite wisely, I think, settled into third, and Schechter well behind him in fourth.
Problems then plagued a number of drivers, causing them to retire, including Arnoux, Ickx, who was on a charge, Andretti, Lauda, Rosberg, Tombe and Patrese.
Yeah, we're not hearing much about Ickx, are we?
No, we're not.
He's in a top car, like Laffite's up
He's
there.
in the Ligier, that's right.
But he's not. He's older now, remember?
Yeah.
So now we have only 12 drivers left on the track, and of those, Villeneuve had to have a rear aerofoil replaced, which cost him 5th place to Piquet, who's amazingly got back up there again. He was followed by Watson, Mass, and Lees. Lees, that new guy.
Yeah, the new guy. Yep.
Yeah. So Jones's engine, meanwhile, started to misfire badly. And he also had a slow puncture in his right rear tyre. And this was only lap 28 of 45. So Jones is having a lot of bad luck in this, Williams. Especially while in the lead.
Yes, imagine how dominant he could have been if he hadn't had these mechanical bad luck things happen. Yeah. Well, his misfire got worse and his tyre got flatter and flatter. What a surprise. But he managed to keep his car going and cross the finish line to notch up his first win of the season ahead of his teammate Regazzoni with a superb Williams 1-2.
Yeah, I wonder if Regazzoni was told not to challenge Jones for the win because Jones was obviously nursing his car. But if he was told to not challenge, I think that's completely valid because of how many races Jones has had taken away from him.
Yeah. And I don't know, have we said this? I reckon Jones is number one driver in that team.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah. I 100% think he was told not to challenge. 15 seconds later, Laffite came in third, well clear of Schechter in fourth. And on the last lap, Piquet's engine blew, handing 5th place to Watson, while Mas was 6th ahead of Lees in a perfect debut race. I guess it was perfect. He stayed out of trouble and he finished. Finished in the top 10. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he finished 7th. He nearly got a point. And Regazzoni was only 3 seconds behind Jones. So that indicates probably holding back.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if Jones had a flat tyre.
Yeah, or a slow puncture, which would have...
A slow puncture and a misfire. Like if Regazzoni wanted to, he could have challenged him.
I would have thought so.
Yeah. So to the standings, we've got Schechter 35, brackets 39, Laffite on 28, Villeneuve 26, Regazzoni 22. And on the constructor side, we've got Ferrari on 65, Ligier 51, Williams 38.
And just for those of you listening that may not have listened to all the episodes, when Rosa says 30 about Jody Schechter's points, 35 in brackets 39, it's her continued resistance to the dropping points rule. So that's what she's trying to acknowledge the points he earned and the points he's got.
I know, because I just look at this point, what we've got 5 races to go. And Laffite, Villeneuve is only 9 points behind Schechter.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's other factors we'll talk about this at the end of the season when it comes. It's coming up soon. So we're up to race 11 of 15, the Austrian Grand Prix. It's at the Österreich Ring, which I think is still the same track they have today. That's owned by
It is, yeah.
August 12th, 54 laps, and the weather is warm and dry. So once again, Jones and Jabouillet dominated the practice sessions at this track.
It just feels so weird. It feels like a different season because we were not talking about Williams and Renault at the beginning of the season.
Well, we felt the need to do an intro of Jones again.
Yes. Well, it wasn't a great surprise that they were dominating here because this was another fast track which suited the twin-turbo Renault and Jones's very attacking style of driving.
But Jabier did not have things all his own way because he was forced into the spare car after a fan blade snapped in his Renault's turbocharger unit.
Right. The end of the first session saw Jones set the fastest lap and Jabier second, with no one else anywhere near them apart from Arnoux in the second Renault.
Yeah, where's Regazzoni? By the time the final times session came around, the three drivers were battling for pole position, Jones in the Williams and the two Renaults.
It was an absorbing session, and eventually Arnoux started to take the upper hand, beating Jones's time from the previous day and ending up on pole with a time of 1 minute 34.07 seconds.
So that's Jones ended up in second place with a time of 1 minute 34.28. Jabier was third, Lauda fourth in the Brabham. So still sort of bouncing up there. Villeneuve fifth, there's a Ferrari, and Regazzoni sixth in the Williams. A little bit underperforming by Regazzoni there.
The start of the race went as expected, with the Renaults never having been the best cars to get away, turbo lag, as we've said, even with the twin turbo. So Jones got away off the line first.
But it was Villeneuve, 2 rows back, who was in the process of making one of the best starts ever seen in modern-day GP racing.
Wow.
Now, those are not my words. Those are the words of Mike Lang, but the author of the book we use as reference. But I thought they were such big words to make.
Yeah, that's big words. Yeah. Wow. Villeneuve caught everyone by surprise, first by squeezing past on the inside of Jabier and Arnoux, almost touching the pit wall.
Then he drew alongside Jones up the hill before taking the lead at the chicane. When drivers do this, they get adoring fans.
Yeah.
You know? And this is why Villeneuve is loved by so many people, because they love seeing this sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the modern day of that, Luigi? Who's the modern day Villeneuve?
Gee.
That's one for you. I'm gonna give you one.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc.
No, he doesn't have that dynamism. You know who I think last time did something that was dramatic like this? Probably Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi, of course.
He did a few dramatic starts that were just like, where he did that. But he wasn't consistent with that. He did it once every 2 years or something. And you'd be like, why is he third from 10th or something? You know, where did that? And then he'd invariably fall back because he wasn't in a great car. So
what about Alonso? No?
Yeah. In his younger days, maybe.
In his younger days?
Yeah.
Anyway, we move on. We kept back to 79. Jabouillet's clutch had failed at the start, but he went on to complete the first lap in 9th place behind Villeneuve first, Jones second, Lauda third, Arnoux fourth, Regazzoni fifth, Pironi sixth, Lafitte seventh, and Scheckter eighth.
Yeah, Schechter's not having a great time of it as a championship. He's a championship leader.
He's a leader. I don't even understand how he's a championship leader, but he is.
Yeah, he is. I know. It's a bit weird like that, isn't it?
It's weird.
Having made such a great start, Villeneuve was not going to give up the lead of the race easily, and for 3 laps kept a very aggressive Jones behind him.
But on lap 4, Jones outwitted Villeneuve by pulling out of his slipstream as they roared past the pits and getting past him just before the chicane in a late braking manoeuvre, again, characteristic of Jones.
Yeah, so from then on, it was all over as far as the lead positions were concerned, with Jones pulling ahead on his own, and behind those first two, the order had changed substantially after the first lap, with Arnoux and Regazzoni getting past Lauda, while Jabier driving with clutchless gear changes picked off Scheckter, Pironi and Lafitte. He won't last. I'm sure you can't.
No way. Can you imagine? Do you reckon there'd be like a huge crunching sound, Luigi, as he's changing gears without a clutch?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. It doesn't sound healthy anyway.
No. By lap 5, the order was Jones, Villeneuve, Arnoux, Jabouillet, Regazzoni and Scheckter.
So Lauda was now in 8th behind Lafitte and Pironi.
With 10 laps completed, Jones had opened up a 6-second lead over Villeneuve, who had his work cut out, keeping the 2 Renaults behind him.
And even for a driver of his skill, though this was to prove an impossible task, In just 2 more laps, he was forced to give way to both of them. I mean, those Renaults have unbelievable straight line speed. Probably not much he could do about that.
No. Driving to team orders. Again, someone must have told good old Mike Lang about that at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Arnoux then moved over to allow Jabouillet into second place. I mean, the guy didn't have a clutch.
Yeah,
I don't
they
understand.
They didn't know that though. They didn't know. How would they know?
Yeah. But on lap 16, limped into the pits to retire as his clutch had taken its toll on the gearbox, of course.
Yeah. Got further than I thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the field was now spread out, with Jones stretching his lead over Arnoux and Villeneuve slipping back into third. Scheckter was fourth. He's sort of found his way up there again. Regazzoni fifth and Lafitte sixth, a considerable way back.
The two Brabham drivers, Lauda and Piquet, were locked in an epic battle for seventh, with the lead changing multiple times until Piquet was forced into the pits with a blown engine on lap 32.
So by lap 40, Jones was leading by well over 20 seconds. And although Arnoux was lapping fractionally quicker, it was not enough to make an impression on the leading Williams at all.
Villeneuve was still a secure third, but Scheckter fourth had to keep an eye on Lafitte, who was inching closer.
And by lap 50, Arnoux' Renault started spluttering as if the fuel system had gone on the blink. He headed to the pits for more fuel, but his engine cut out halfway around the track. Poor Arnoux.
He had enough momentum to make it to the pits, but by the time he had taken on more fuel and rejoined the race, a solid second place had turned into sixth place, as Villeneuve, Scheckter, Lafitte and Regazzoni had all taken advantage.
So Jones, in the meantime, was left with an even bigger lead and drove completely untroubled before taking the checkered flag well over half a minute ahead of Villeneuve's Ferrari.
And behind these two came Lafitte in third place after a dramatic last lap overtake on Scheckter. Regazzoni fifth with a very rough-sounding engine, and a lap down, then came Arnoux. Right, so exciting race there. Interesting.
Yeah. And look at Scheckter lose. This is the second time we've heard Scheckter lose a position on the last lap.
There, that's right.
Yeah, just an interesting call-out, you know?
So we have Scheckter still leading the championship on 38 points, in brackets 42. Villeneuve and Lafitte both on 32 points. Jones on 25 now. So that's the first time we've been hearing of him. Yeah. And Regazzoni on 24. And on the construction side, we've got Ferrari on 74, Ligier on 55, but Williams closing in quickly there on 49.
Okay, interesting. I think we can do another race, Rosa.
I reckon we can too.
Three races in one episode. Look at that. Everyone's being massively
us.
spoiled. Right. Spoiled. Start to race 12 of 15, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. It's on August 26, 75 laps, and the weather was overcast but mainly dry. So guess what? Jarier is back for this race after recovering from what turned out to be a bout of hepatitis. Is this too much information?
I don't know. It's interesting that he had hepatitis. I don't know.
Yeah. This is the 70s.
It is the 70s. Yes. So rain interrupted the untimed sessions, with many drivers not even bothering to go out.
Yeah, the weather cleared for the timed session on Saturday, and it was Jones and Arnoux setting the pace. Regazzoni and Jabouillet were also staying well in contention to grab pole position. Where has Ligier gone? I mean,
they've disappeared. They've been overtaken by Renault.
By everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. As good as it was for Williams and Renault, it was all doom and gloom for Lotus, who had to abandon the Lotus 80 again and return to their unmodified, underdeveloped Lotus 79. Brabham and McLaren were also a long way off the pace here.
Remember at the beginning of the year, McLaren got a podium?
Yeah,
and we thought,
Watson.
Wow, there you go.
I know.
Feels like a long time ago now. So Ferrari were actually bottoming out on one of the corners along with the Ligier, so they were not enjoying the Zandvoort track at all.
Rain again interrupted the session, which made it impossible for anyone to catch Jones's and Arnoux times, with Arnoux setting pole and Jones second.
It's interesting that Jones is able to break up those very fast Renaults,
Renaults, yeah.
After these two, there was Regazzoni in third, so pretty good for Regazzoni to be a bit closer to his teammate. Jabouillet fourth in the other Renault, with Scheckter and Villeneuve lining up fifth and sixth. That's pretty good. They're not 11th, 13th anymore.
No, they were only that for one race, excuse me, so just calm down. Weather for race day was far from settled, with dark clouds blowing in, but the race went ahead as scheduled, with everyone's fingers crossed that it would stay dry.
Probably not Villeneuve. He probably would have wanted it to rain.
Villeneuve's praying for rain.
Yeah. Then came the start. Jones got away perfectly from the front row to take an immediate lead, whereas Arnoux and his Renault hung back a little and found Regazzoni trying to run up on the inside, and Jabouillet and Villeneuve trying a similar manoeuvre on the outside. That sounds like it'd be pretty crazy.
That is a crazy start. I love it. I wish we'd see more of that. Another superb start from Villeneuve there, Louis, from the third row, and again the turbos not great on the starts.
Well, now we have 4 cars abreast, which squeezed Regazzoni into the guardrail, and even worse, his left front wheel came off as he tangled with Arnoux.
It was bound to happen, wasn't it? I mean, you can't drive 4 cars abreast on a Grand Prix track.
No.
Both Regazzoni and Arnoux were immediate retirements. Such a pity for Arnoux, given he was able to grab pole here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is funny to see Arnoux being such a contender, because when I first started watching F1, he was notorious for being difficult to lap. But here we go, getting ahead of myself. I think that's more of a you comment, Luigi.
It is a me comment, yeah.
That's a you comment. I don't really remember Arnoux, but
oh, don't you? Oh, I remember.
No,
him.
Not really. So he was difficult to lap because he was always at the back.
Yeah, and he acted like he was in the lead, but he was not. He was not in the lead.
He was not.
Yeah,
that's funny. He was a moving chicane.
Yeah. So Reutemann was out with a broken suspension after tangling with Jarier, while Scheckter was running last after he overheated his clutch on the grid and was last away. So championship leader.
Up front, the lead cars, Jones, Villeneuve and Jabouillet, were well clear of the pack and were starting a long-lasting battle for first.
Scheckter, meanwhile, was getting his clutch back and roaring through the field, and there was a spate of retirements in the midfield, including Lauda. I think he still had a sore wrist from an accident in another car series event, and Andretti was out, I believe, with a broken suspension.
Our leader Jones was also in a spot of trouble, as he was finding it hard to select third gear.
And on lap 11, Villeneuve, sensing that something was not quite right with the Williams, pulled out of his slipstream and emerged in front after a breathtaking manoeuvre on the outside. I think Lang likes this Villeneuve guy. He used the term a breathtaking move for a Villeneuve fan. He meant to write that exactly like that.
Yeah, I reckon too.
I wanted to give it airtime,
Yeah. I'm going to, after we finish doing this, I'm going to look at some of Villeneuve highlights and see whether they were actually breathtaking or not.
Yeah, I think they will be actually. But
they will be, yeah. Jones resigned himself to second and concentrated on keeping Jabouillet behind him, giving his gear selection challenges.
And Pironi in the Tyrrell was 15 seconds behind Jabouillet in fourth, but was quickly overtaken in the same breathtaking move as Villeneuve on Jones by Rosberg Wolf, and now being hunted Scheckter Ferrari, who is now sixth. So if it's the same move, did Mike Lang call it breathtaking as well?
No, he didn't. No, it's only breathtaking when Villeneuve does it.
Yeah, it's more dramatic. Yeah.
By lap 20, Villeneuve had opened up a 4-second lead on Jones, but already blisters were starting to appear on the Ferrari's right-hand tyres.
And Jabouillet was also dropping away from Jones due to a slipping clutch, and as such was giving Rosberg and Scheckter, who'd moved up another place, thoughts to challenge his third position.
On lap 26, Scheckter had overtaken Rosberg to take fourth place in what was a superb recovery drive for him.
Yeah. Then Jabouille's clutch finally gave out, promoting Scheckter to third. He was last, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. There were only 11 cars left in the race.
Okay. Actually, by lap 34, there were only 10, as Rosberg also retired with a broken valve. We aren't even halfway through this race.
Yeah.
And there's 10 cars left in the race.
So after 40 laps, Jones was clawing back the deficit to Villeneuve's Ferrari despite his clutch problems, mainly due to Villeneuve's front left tyre slowly deflating due to a puncture. So this was causing oversteer and obviously slowing his lap times. So these are like the walking wounded here, isn't it?
The lead finally changed hands at the chicane where Villeneuve got slightly offline, put his left rear wheel on the curb and went into a violent spin. And this is Mike Lang. I'm sure the spin was unbelievably violent.
Yeah. Violent means anything done to you
exciting
that wasn't intentional by Villeneuve. So if Villeneuve does it himself, it's unbelievable. Is it unbelievable?
Yeah.
No, spectacular.
Yeah.
What was the word he used before?
Oh,
breathtaking. It was
breathtaking.
But if he didn't intend it, it's violent.
Yeah.
Like someone did it to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, Jones was quite close to the Ferrari at the time of Villeneuve's violent spin, and I was able to avoid him. And by the time Villeneuve had recovered brilliantly, in Mike Lang's word, without hitting anything or stalling his engine, like Jabouille, Jones had pulled 10 seconds clear of him.
Jeepers, that's a lot. Villeneuve pressed on as hard as ever until a lap and a half later, his left rear wheel suddenly exploded, going past the pits. Just the way Mike Lang likes it, in front of the pits, making a big show.
Yeah. Again, brilliantly, he kept it straight until deliberately letting it spin to a halt on the grass outside of Tarzan, certain that his race was over, there and then.
But no, Louis. Villeneuve lifted his visor, restarted the engine, and then with a clear road, reversed across the track before setting off to the pits for a new tyre.
And he made it too. Although the Ferrari's left-hand corner was just about gone as the tyre had disintegrated halfway around the lap, and the car was scraping and sparking all the way back to the pits. So Villeneuve had to retire.
This sparked a lot of controversy in the paddock, this action, with some saying it was crazy and some thinking it was a display of spirit and determination. I don't know. I'm going to go crazy.
Look, he's trying to win the championship here.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not going to pretend, it's crazy. But, what's he got to lose? And, I mean, I can see why people love him because he's just like...
yeah.
The sparks and the wheel blowing
and just the instinct. He does everything on instinct. He's not thinking really about it. He's got one thing in mind, and that's to go fast and to get ahead. I can appreciate it too. It's interesting. We haven't really talked about Jacques Villeneuve in relation to his dad.
Yeah. It doesn't really follow, does it? They're different drivers.
And it must have been such a pressure for a bit like Hill and his dad, Damon and Graham. So it must have been such a massive pressure moment for Jacques to be in a Grand Prix car and being compared to his dad.
Well, let's face it, Jacques Villeneuve is a very outspoken person. I think he matches Gilles in his voice.
Yes, he does. He does.
And I do look up to Jacques in that regard. I love his outspoken nature.
Yes.
No crap, just tell it like it is. So
that's right. And, Jacques is a world champion.
Yeah, Gilles didn't achieve that.
Gilles didn't achieve it, and we'll know why.
Maybe I shouldn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah, don't say that. But it is interesting to see the difference between the two, isn't it? And maybe Gilles' career did influence Jacques' driving style.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah,
potentially. Okay.
So anyway, Jones came in first in the race, winning it, despite having no third gear and having to hold the lever in second gear in the closing stages. So walking wounded, really wounded. And it's still remarkable, just not as showy as Villeneuve. That's all.
No. 20 seconds behind him came Scheckter in second, with Laffite third. Only 10 cars finished this race.
And thanks to the controversially revised point scoring system, Jones' chances of winning the championship ends here because you can go through that, Rosa.
Yeah, so despite having won the last 3 races in a row, even if he went on to win the remaining 3 races, the maximum points he would be allowed to retain would be 40, whereas the consistency of Scheckter across both halves of the season meant that he had 44.
So Jones couldn't catch him.
Couldn't catch him. That's right, which is why I said that the system didn't actually work for people who did better in the latter part of the season, because you couldn't carry forward the good results. So to the standings, we've got Scheckter on 44 and in brackets 48, Laffite on 36, Jones on 34, Villeneuve on 32. So technically, how many races have we got left?
3.
So Villeneuve couldn't even win it at this point in time. Oh no, he could.
No, he could. But and we're about to get to the race where I want to make my point, but it's at the end of the next race. So
So Villeneuve could, because he hadn't won any races up until now. So, the second half of the season, he would be able. So, if he won the next 3 races, he would be able to carry all those points forward.
Yeah, but, that's right.
Jones couldn't because he'd won the last 3 races. Anyway,
okay.
I think we're going to call it there in the middle of a mathematical conundrum.
Yeah,
going to get Louis to crunch some numbers, and we're going to come back for. What part are we up to, Louis?
We're up to number 7. This might be the last episode. If we can squeeze 3 more races in, we'll see how we go.
Okay, we'll see how we go.
We're going to do a lot more talking maybe, but we'll see how we go.
I think so, yeah. All right. See you later, everyone.
Bye.